Hi, we're Team 9. Today we're going to be talking about CVS's Coca-Cola's pricing strategy analysis. Next, please. We're going to talk about six main things. First, we'll introduce ourselves. Then we'll go on to talk about the research question, the evidence, the basis for interest, the possible rationale, and the assessment and recommendations. Next, please. I'd like to take an opportunity to introduce ourselves. My name is Joelle Moitra.
I'm Whitaker Ellis.
I'm Dino Esposito.
I'm Hong Xun.
I'm Zheng Wu.
Next, please. Our research question is based on why does CVS only chill the small-sized bottle of Coke, which is 591 ml? In our pricing paper, we discussed Coca-Cola's pricing strategy in grocery stores. This was because we noticed that at the CVS based in Syracuse University, the smaller sized bottle of a Coca-Cola is priced higher than the larger sized bottle of a Coca-Cola. For an individual, that would work perfectly because they would prefer the larger sized bottle as opposed to the smaller one. But from a consumer's perspective, it is reasonable if the price of the larger is a little higher than that of the smaller bottle. This is mainly because of the price anchoring strategy and also because of the reducing cost. For Coca-Cola, we noticed that the bottles and the labels and all of the transportation costs are their major cost. That is essentially higher than their ingredients. The interesting thing is that Pepsi is also competing with Coca-Cola in the same price and pricing strategy at CVS. We also noticed that the consumers would have to pay for a better drinking experience because only the smaller bottle of the Coca-Cola is chilled. Therefore, we analyzed that the smaller bottles are more expensive than that of the larger bottles at CVS. Next, please.
Okay, I'll tell about the evidence part because that's what we gathered the data from the Syracuse University CVS store. For different price of products with different volumes, we take the brand of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Sprite, and Canada Dry, as well as the Milton Dew. So actually for the different volume of the each brand, their pricing is different. I mean, for the 991 ml with chilled, their price is higher than most, or even larger than its 1.25 ml bottles price. But in this case, we will see more about the different volumes. You can see different price here about 2 ml or 6 PKs cans or 8 PKs plastic. Their price are varied from each other, but the similar features they have is the price of the small size ml cans is larger than the 1.25 ounce bottles price. And next part is about the evidence of the product benefits. We can see different benefits from different size of our products. For the smallest size, it is easy to understand. It could be carried easier with better experience, and it is very convenient for our customers to bring it home. But for the larger size, it will represent a better price than the smaller size and easy to carry than 2 ounce bottles. But for the larger volumes price, they are also allow customers to share with friends, and it also could make us to apply to the parties too. So for the third part of the evidence, we can see in the chart that the products of different size represent different volume of refrigerator, which needs its suitable case to fit in a different volume of the products, and its unit price of different size, it should be like 30 per unit for the small size or 4.5 for the largest size. But the revenues we can see is always largest in the smallest size. Also, based on the evidence, we can come to the basic interest. Well, the first thing we're gonna talk about is consumers' value. Since I do not think CVS strategy is not always the best, And it is surprising that they will choose the smallest price and label it with the highest price. So for the chilled up option, since I think customers has already opened the refrigerator, why didn't the stores choose to chill the other sides and extract the premium for them? And the another perspective I want to talk about here is the threat from other brands, since they all provide a different size of different volumes, but we can see it only chill the smallest size and provide the highest price. What about when the strategies come in with new brands entry, they will provide sizable chilled sources. In this case, more customers will be attracted and would love to accept alternatives with better price quality. That's what I want to say here. And the next step will be introduced by my fellows about the possible rationales. Let's welcome.
Okay, in this part, I'm going to talk about the reason of CVS chose the small size Coke and based on 3 different market segments. And for next page, I'm talk about the segment A, who buying for their immediately consumptions, and segment B, purchasing for the future personal consumptions. Segment C, purchasing to share with friends at a social gathering. And in next page, I'll talk about the segment A. For this segment, they'll buy the chilled Coke in hot weather or when they feel very hot, and they just want to solve the hot and thirsty issues immediately. So the chilled Coke could solve the hot and thirsty issues immediately and meet the consumer's Coke amount demand when they feel hot and thirsty. But drinking too much chilled Coke at one time is not very good for health. So the small size Coke is the best size for them. If CVS chilled the mid-size or large size one and charge more according to the pricing structure theory, it will be overreach and the consumer may feel it's not fair. The chilled Coke could meet the needs of multiple people at the same time, such as a soccer team that just finished the training in the summer. Generally, there are 3 to 5 Coke brands in the fridge of CVS. Coca-Cola accounts about 2/5 of the total space. In other words, this space could hold about 122 bottles of small size Coke, 35 to 45 bottles of middle size Coke, and 15 to 20 bottles of large size Coke. So it will be more efficient and profitable to chill the small size Coke. In addition, based on the dynamic pricing strategy, segment A tended to be less price sensitive than other 2 segments because CVS are charging for small size Coke, which is a third degree pricing discrimination for segment A, because they are willing to pay more than other 2 segments for the same price. And the next page, I'll talk about the segment B. For segment B, they won't want to drink Coke immediately. Even they want to drink chilled Coke, they can bring it home and chill it by themselves. They just want to buy Coke for the future and buy more Coke with a lower price. Therefore, middle or large size Coke is a good choice for them. Moreover, segment B has a high level of elasticity because the price are the most important concern for them. So if CVS chills the middle size or large size Coke and charge more, they won't buy it. And segment C is very similar to segment B. Therefore, CVS chills the small size Coke is a wise choice. Okay, I'll hand it over to our other team members.
All right, so now we're going to talk about the assessment portions of our analysis. First, I'm going to go into the advantages of our pricing policy at CVS. We settled that the main potential advantage of this pricing policy is that having chilled Coke in the refrigerator and ready to be consumed will solve an immediate issue for a majority of the demand. By this, we mean that due to strong demand for the chilled option in comparison to the larger sizes that aren't chilled of the Coca-Cola, charging a slightly higher price won't matter to this group of consumers as they are not very price sensitive. And the value of the chilled Coke outweighs the increase in price for them. Therefore, this pricing option that they use will utilize the refrigerator space to a higher value and will also result in higher profit and revenue margins for CVS. Another advantage of the policy we decided on was that CVS will generate a much higher revenue simply based on refrigerator space and utilization, like I just said. It wouldn't make any sense for the company to chill the larger size bottles because that would be taking space away from the larger margins you could generate by chilling the smaller bottles. Although the smaller bottles have higher unit prices per ounce when bought wholesale from production, they take up significantly less shelf space, and the math behind this advantage will be explained in the recommendation sector in a second. For disadvantages of this pricing policy, we've found that, first of all, that the potential advantages completely outweigh the disadvantages. But one disadvantage was that the margins that could be made if they were to chill the larger bottle sizes of Coke would be massive. If they were to chill the large size Coke, then they could jack these prices up very high due to price sensitive customers. The majority of them would purchase at this price, which is detrimental to this disadvantage. But they would only need a few customers to purchase at this extremely high price in order to create more revenue than this current pricing policy. And then one other disadvantage to this pricing policy we settled on was that there is no variation in the chilled product sizes. Therefore, if any other type of juice or soda is chilled in one of the larger sizes from a different brand at CVS, then a consumer can change their preference from Coca-Cola to that product if they are easy substitutes, and especially if they are being listed at a lower price. And now I will hand it off to Dino as he will go through our recommendations.
All right. So concluding from our research, as a group, we would recommend that CVS continues with their current pricing policy for chilling only the smaller size of Coca-Cola. After conducting our calculations throughout the project, we found that in order for CVS to earn the same revenue chilling the 1.25 or 2-liter bottles, they would have to charge astronomical prices. The price of the 1.25-liter bottle would be somewhere between $6.45 and $8.29, and the 2-liter bottle would be somewhere between $14.50 and $19.33. The refrigerator space is also pretty limited and can only hold a certain quantity of each size. So we would suggest, well, CVS could mitigate their disadvantages of the current strategy by continuing to chill the same sizes and constantly checking the analytics behind consumer decisions. And we also recommend that CVS should also periodically analyze price comparisons with similar stores to make sure that their margins aren't too high and consumers won't switch to a different company or product. And that's it.
And that is the extent of our presentation. I would like to thank you very much for the semester, Professor, and we hope you enjoyed listening to our analysis. And yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.